Baby, hold my hand when I say this. She got you.
She got you. She got you.
My kitchen.
So episode 9 begins with Rollie dog walking Slim. I mean, you talk about an unambiguous ass whooping. That bitch Molly whopped Slim. I mean, it was not even a debate, a conversation. You didn't have to do no slow motion. You didn't have to do nothing. I mean, it was bad, honey. And Casper just kept getting up and up and up after each one. It was like she was one of those, those things where you hit and then they pop back up again. They hit and then they pop back up again. That was Slim. And I'm like, girl, like, give it up. But, I mean, I guess she's just happy to be back on the show. I mean, she's been trying for damn near 3 fucking years. So, hey, do your big one, honey. Now, the reason these tricks are fighting is because Rollie started it, okay? Rollie fucking started it. What had happened was, while Baddies Caribbean was airing, there was that whole controversy of Big Gretch saying the N-word, and a lot of fans were like, well, Slim was saying the N-word, and she's not black, and Slim got online and was like, no, I am black, whatever. And then Rollie got online and was like, she's barely black, okay? Her dad's not even black, so she's not even like anything, blah, blah, blah. Like, she just started talking about her dad. And Slim went the entire fuck off, okay? Because this is around the time that Diamond the Body and Rollie were going at it, and Diamond was criticizing Rollie for smoking with her son and stuff, and basically, said, bitch, don't play with me, go play with your kids. And Slim got online and was like, you talking about Diamond talking about your son? Well, bitch, fuck you and your son, bitch. Fuck you. And so Rollie got online and responded and said, listen, why are you getting mad at me for talking about your dead daddy, the one that you said molested you? And that is how this whole thing came about. I mean, they both went really, really, really low, but Rollie was the one that started it. You know what I mean? And people say, well, once you bring up somebody's child, that's off limits. Okay, that's true. But then is the valid response to bring up somebody getting molested by their father? Like, supposedly Slim told you that in confidence. Like, that was disgusting, Rollie. That was truly disgusting. So honestly, this is all Rollie's fault. So they just start going back and forth. And Natalie is getting in the middle and she's like, you talked about her son. What do you expect? And you came and got at me when we were at the Baddies South reunion. And you came at me and snuck me when Rollie was fighting. And I was like, okay, I feel like that doesn't have really anything to do with anything. Like, I just feel like Natalie doesn't like Slim, and she wanted a reason to just get in the mix and go against Slim while she was down. You know what I mean? Rollie ends up saying to Slim, I hate you. I hate you. And I usually don't hate people, but I hate you. And I'm like, damn, bitch. Like, you really hate her? Honestly, I don't believe that. I don't think Rollie actually hates Slim. Like, I just think Rollie says a lot of shit when she's mad. And she's just doing the most. I don't know. Like, I don't really care for Rollie, to be completely honest with you. And I think she needs to go. Like, I think she's way too comfortable on the show. And she's not all that. She's not the network. She doesn't have a producer credit. Like, she walks around acting like she's Natalie. And I don't like that. I don't like that. So they eventually get separated. Rollie puts on Slim's Amazon wig to taunt her. And Slim, goes to the back and get medical attention because her finger is fucked up. And that's how the scene ends. In the next scene, Cisco, Rollie, Thea, Scotty the Body, and Natalie Nunn sit down and talk about what happened the night before. They talk about the fight with Akbar and Diamond the Body. And then, of course, they talk about Slim and Rollie's fight. Rollie's basically saying that, look, I'm done with Slim. I have nothing else to say to her. Fuck that bitch. Like, literally, fuck her. So then Natalie says that they're going to have a bonfire tonight with all the baddies to sort of sort some things out. And Jayla's like, is it a barbecue or a brawl-barbecue? And I was like, that's kind of cute. So in the next scene, Scummer Big Lex, Pretty P, and Jazz sit down and have a conversation. Jazz is sick, honey. She is sick. She don't feel good. A lot of these hoes don't feel good. It's weird. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know. People got broken necks. People got broken fingers. People got fevers. I mean, is this baddies or is this like oldies? Are these some old geriatric hoes? That's what it seems like. But anyway, Scummer, she says to Jasmine, she's like, what's going on, Jazz? We need to talk. And Jazz is like, bitch, you're the one that constantly comes at me. Like, we don't really need to have a conversation. Just leave me the fuck alone. And it's true. It's like, it's all Summer's fault. Jazz has been cool. They fought that one time. They got their issues out. But it just seems like Summer is bullying Jasmine, and she's also bullying Pretty P. And I don't like Summer. I know she's the fan favorite and everything. I honestly feel like she's slow and remedial and an attention-seeking whore. Like, honestly, that's really what I think about that bitch. I cannot stand her. So then they talk about what happened with Diamond and Akbar on the last episode, yada, 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 yada. They also talk about, obviously, the things that happened with Slim and Rollie, you know. But then Bleachabella comes in looking rough. I mean, damn. I mean, she was looking good the last episode. I don't know if that makeup artist that she had, it was his day off, but this bitch looks terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. But anyway, she immediately addresses Pretty P and is like, bitch, do you have a problem with me? And Pretty P's like, no, I have a problem with Diamond because she keeps sneaking me and I want my ones with Diamond. And Bleachabella was like, you know what? I feel you, but I'm gonna have to tell my girl, and give her a heads up because that's my bitch. And I was like, girl, whatever. So in the next scene, Stewie and Bigums are arguing in the kitchen, really about something stupid. Bigum says that she went down to the kitchen to get some food, and Stewie and her makeup artist were like just mean mugging her, acting all stuck up or whatever. And Biggie was mad that Stewie's glam was allowed to be there in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Biggie has to go 40 minutes to get her glam done or something like that. Honestly, like, I just feel like Biggie thinks that she's more important than she actually is. Like, she needs a reality check, like, honestly. And then she was even saying to Stewie, this is my kitchen. This is my kitchen. Like, girl, this is nothing of yours. The only reason truly why you're even here is because Stunna Girl left. You are the replacement for Stunna Girl. So shut the entire fuck up, you fat bitch. So in the next scene, Diamond the Body, Ivory, Bigums, Bleachabella, and the Hulk sit down and talk. They talk about the Akbar fight, yada, 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 yada. But then Tinkerbella tells Diamond the Body that Pretty P wants her ones with her. And Diamond's like, you know what? Yeah, I've snuck her twice. And if I were her, I'd want to fight me too. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. Diamond the Body, she's a whore with 2,000 bodies, but she's also fair. She's fair. And yeah, I'm going to need you to get in the paint with Pretty P because you have snuck that bitch twice. And it's not cool, Diamond. It's not cool. But then Anna, FaceTimes Diamond the Body and says that she's sick and she's not going to be able to go to the bonfire later that night. Bigums gets upset, though, because she's like, why didn't Anna FaceTime me instead of Diamond? Well, maybe it's because you weren't sticking up for her while she was fighting Summer. Yeah, that's probably why she didn't FaceTime you first, dummy. So in the next scene, Jayla and Slim sit down, to discuss Rollie and everything that happened with that. You notice Slim looks casket ready, honey. I mean, she looks pale as a ghost. I don't know what type of foundation she has on. Like, girl, like, it was about a shade or two too light. You light-skinned, but you ain't that damn light-skinned, hoe. Or maybe it's just the blonde too. She just looks washed out. So yeah, they're talking about the whole situation. Slim starts getting emotional because they were really good friends during Baddies South. So then Rolethea comes in and she just has this stank ass attitude. She's not really trying to hear what Slim has to say. Like, she really doesn't give a fuck that Slim is emotional, like, at all. So Rollie gets up and leaves. So after that, Natalie says to Slim, like, hey, like, you did a lot of stuff to me too. Like, during, like, the auditions, you were saying that you were going to whoop my ass, things of that nature. And Slim was like, yeah, I did, and I want to apologize for that. And then she also says that I really want to stay in this house, and I think that I deserve to be here. But then Chinchek is like, you know what? It's going to be Rollie's decision because I have a loyalty towards her, and if she wants you to stay, then you can stay. And I'm like, damn, bitch, like that fucking sucks. Like you're basically like, your future is in your op's hands. That's a horrible feeling. That has to be a horrible feeling. Honestly, okay, I experienced that one time. I was in high school, and we were going to prom. And all my friends were going on this party bus. And the party bus was being run by this girl that, I didn't like, and she didn't like me, whatever. And basically, I had to beg to get on that motherfucking bus, okay, with me and my date. Okay, I literally had to beg this bitch to get on the party bus. It was so embarrassing, but the bitch allowed me to go on the bus, and I was like, thank you, but I hated. I feel like I had to grovel to that bitch, and it was not a fun feeling. So I understand how Slim probably feels right now. So in the next scene, the girls gather around the bonfire, and immediately Rollie addresses Diamond the Body and Pretty P and says, like, do you guys, need to work out your issues? Like, we need to get this figured out. Pretty P is like, yeah, bitch, I want to fight you, Diamond the Body. I want to fight you. And then Diamond the Body's punk ass is like, well, I'll let you fight me tomorrow because my neck is fucked up right now. And I'm like, girl, that is some weak ass, pussy ass shit. Like, nah. And if I was Pretty P, I would have just ran up on Diamond right then and there. You literally should have jumped over that damn fireplace and dove on that bitch. Honestly. But, Pretty P, I get the vibe that you are a nice person and you didn't want to do that. But on Baddies, you can't be a nice person. You have to be a two-faced, ruthless, ghetto-ass bitch. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But Pretty P agrees, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So then they start talking about Slim and Rollie again, and Natalie says to the girls that whether or not Slim is going to stay, it's up to Rollie because I have a loyalty to Rollie, yada, 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 yada. Summer's stupid hop on the bandwagon ass is like saying in the confessionals that, oh, now I got a problem with Slim because who you gonna come up in here acting like shit sweet and you two-faced, and I'm like, Summer, this has nothing to do with you. Sit down. Like, this is why I don't like you. You always running your mouth about shit that has nothing to do with you. Shut up! But then, they start talking about who's boring in the house, and Summer says, Emma and Jazz, okay? And Pretty P. But Ivory is sticking up for Pretty P. She's like, Pretty P has her moments. She has her moments. And it's true. Pretty P has gotten into fights with Summer. She's gotten into fights with Diamond the Body. She's gotten into a fight with Tinkerbella. She's gotten into a fight. Has she gotten into a fight with anybody else? I don't know, but she's definitely had her squabbles with multiple girls. She's added stuff to the storyline. I don't think that she is boring on the show. No. Now, Jasmine, I can see how people say she's boring, but the fact that Summer keeps bullying her, it kind of gives her a storyline, so I wouldn't necessarily say she's boring. Summer also calls out Emma and says she's boring. And Emma's just sort of standing there not saying anything. And then Jayla says, look, Emma, Jasmine and Pretty P are sticking up for themselves when they're called boring, but you're just standing there, Emma. And then Scotty gets into the mix and says to Emma, you need to exit stage left because you're not doing anything, bitch. You're not doing anything. Emma finally says, you know what? I'm not boring. I say what I say. I'm not boring at all. I've gotten into it with Scotty, whatever. And if I'm going to be completely honest, if we're talking about who's the most boring out of Pretty P, Jasmine, or Emma, I'm going to go with Emma, I feel bad for saying that because I want to see what she gives. And she was the only one really giving Scotty work to do this season. You know what I mean? I feel like Scotty needs actual work besides sucking Lemmy's dick. You know what I'm saying? She needs to put in work and fight bitches. And Emma was the only one doing that. But besides that, Emma, you're boring. Now she wants to blame it on her finger. All these hoes are blaming everything on injuries. She says her finger was fucked up from, fighting Summer the first day on that bus. Bitch, take a fucking painkiller, hoe. I mean, you need to do something. This is Baddies. You can't let a finger hold you back, especially on your first season. But Ivory, to her credit, and I actually really like Ivory for this, she was sticking up for Emma, saying leave her alone. And maybe Ivory is like me. I always stick up for the underdogs. Like, you know what I mean? That's just in my character and in my soul. So Ivory, you and I connected on that level. So I hope she doesn't throw piss on me. So then Rollie says to the OGs, like, okay, OGs, who do you think should go home? And Tinkerbella points to Emma. So then they ask Lex, and Lex says either Pretty P or Jasmine. So then they ask Summer, and Summer says, Pretty P, Jasmine, and Emma. No surprise there. But then they were like, bitch, you have to pick one. And so she chooses Emma. Ivory says Jazz. And I was like, oh, shit. And she says it's because Jazz is really annoying. And I was like, oh, damn. Like, I don't think Ivory and Jazz have gotten into it at all. So I was just, like, surprised by that. So then they asked Bad Dolly, and she says Pretty P should go home, and it's because Emma and Jasmine look better than her. And I'm like, damn, bitch. Like, oh, my God. So then they asked Jasmine, and Jasmine says Summer. No surprise there. And then in the background, Pretty P says Dolly should go home. So then Dolly and Pretty P start going back and forth. And then Pretty P's like, oh shit, you want to fight Bad Dolly? Let's go. I'm going to give it to anybody. And then Bad Dolly and Pretty P start to tussling. And that is how the episode ends. But I want to know what you guys think. And this is the video the YouTube algorithm thinks you should watch next.